Upon me that a week from today, 7 days away, that about this time you and I are going to be having a conversation about the outcome of what LSU and Clemson did on a Saturday night in what Brian Kelly calls Death Valley Jr. I don't know if you want to poke that bear or not, but nevertheless, you did. And we're here. Week 0 was underway today as Kansas State completely blew it because, man, Coach Klieman benches Will Howard. Will Howard goes to Ohio State, and then he wins a national championship there. But it was very, very good to have college football back on the tube. I don't know if you're like me. I love college football more than I love NFL. I always have, always will. Now, I love the Saints. But today, to finally have college football back on the tube when something was actually meaningful was absolutely glorious. You know, was prepping before the show here in Hawaii with a kicker from Japan, walks it off on Stanford. Stanford. You got to freaking love it. Welcome back to college football. Welcome back to the season. And welcome back to another season of LSU football. As we break down the scrimmage here tonight, I see a lot of comments flowing in, a lot of questions. If it's your first time listening, you know what you don't know what you need to do. Follow the lead of people inside the chat. If you're a member of our YouTube channel, if you send in a super chat, or if you have simple questions, do hashtag Ask Blake, or just send in those super chats, or be a member on YouTube, and we'll get to all of those questions, as much of those questions as we can get here tonight, as LSU wraps up fall camp, the last day of fall camp, and we're going to break down the scrimmage here. Got a lot of people in. You know what it is. Do us a favor. Hit the like and share. Share to all those groups if you're on Facebook, and share to all those social media pages if you are on YouTube as well. Like, subscribe, notification bell, wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. We do greatly appreciate it. Brad just became a member on YouTube. Thank you so much. Good, kind sir. We do greatly, greatly appreciate it, Brad. If you got some questions inside the chat, we'll try to get to them, as many of them as we can. Elijah's in, I'm assuming, Austin, Texas. He says, go Tigers from Austin, Texas. Good to have you in here with us. Chase says, shout out Blake from the 318-31 Great. Appreciate all you do for the LSU community. Well, I appreciate you for being here with us, Chase. Good to have you in here. And we got a lot we need to talk about here tonight. Den says, college football today, life is so good. Hello from the great 337. And by the way, not the only 337 guy in here. Our good friend, Mr. Reb, is in the building. Rain, Louisiana, stand up. Good to have you in here with us. Fat Guy Runs on YouTube. You got to love it. Says, checking in from the 901 Big Memphis, Tennessee. Germantown, maybe. Who knows? But Memphis in the building. Good to have you in here with us. Boy, we got a lot of people asking questions. You know what you need to do. Law says on YouTube, 504 boy, keeping the analysis coming. Hashtag Go Tigers. Good to have you in here with us. Yeah. I mean, last fall report. I mean, guys, Monday is as real as a show as we're going to get. A lot of people anticipate that LSU's a playoff team. Tonight, I'm going to finally give my prediction of what I think. There are two things that I think that LSU can do. The third, they're going to have to prove it to me. So normally we've already given a projection by now of what I think this team's going to do. I think 3 things are possible. The third one, you got to prove it to me. Hell, really, the second one, you got to prove it to me too. But nevertheless, tonight we're going to give a prediction here of what we think this team's going to do. Ricky says 6 days and 20 hours away from the game time start at Clemson. Man, I got to tell you, I'm as nervous as a long-tailed cat sitting next to a rocking chair, man. Legitimately. I'm nervous as hell. I'm absolutely nervous as hell. I got to be real with you. That's neither here nor there, but I'm always nervous. I be real with you. I'm nervous even when they play teams like Louisiana Tech. But that's just me. I'm a nervous Nelly. Mr. LSU or LSU Monster says, I'm serious, Blake. I've never seen you smile. That's just not true. You haven't been watching long enough. I literally just laughed. I literally just laughed. How can you say you don't see me smile? See, look at this. Hey. Mr. Reb says, does BK have a press conference on Monday? He does. Didn't do one today. We'll see him back up there on Monday. He gave us Austin Thomas last Thursday, which I thought Austin's press conference was absolutely fascinating. I get paid nothing on this. Nothing. We have no content from a long-form situation that we would get paid for it. So this has nothing to do with like me or anything else. The Thursday conversation and press conference with Austin Thomas was absolutely insane in the sense of a good way. Like seeing what it is to be a GM in college football and listen, I let it be known to the powers that be that it was arguably one of the most fascinating press conferences I've ever listened to. Without a shadow of a doubt. I thought Austin did absolutely fantastic, but not even just about him. To hear what he's got to go through on a day-in, day-out basis is pure insanity. Pure outright insanity. So it is what it is. All right, let's get moving here. Everybody do us a favor. Hit the like and share. Share to all those groups if you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages. Brandon, I got it. Yep. If you're watching us on YouTube, like, subscribe, notification bell, wherever you listen to podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. Clayton says, who's going to wear number 18 this season? I do not know. I am really good friends with a guy that used to wear number 18, two of them. I think that if there's a chance that they do two of them, but if they do one, I would be very shocked if it's not Weeks. I would be shocked if it's not Witt. I think Witt wants it. I also would not be shocked if they did two of them and Garrett got it. I'd be real with you, I'd be a little bit surprised. QC on YouTube says, in 11-on-11 periods, how was the play calling been in terms of rhythm and efficiency? He asked both times. Thank you for both super chats. So technically, I guess a $10 super chat pretty much. Before we get to a quick little break in FanDuel and get to the scrimmage, I don't think the efficiency from play calling this camp, there's a couple of things. Number one, I don't think in the entire, and we'll break down the whole fall camp too and what I think. I don't think that there's been great efficiency. I think that they're trying to do some different things. I don't think that they're doing stuff in practice like they would call it in the game. That's number one. We're going to have, if we're going to talk about Joe Sloan and play calling, we're more than likely going to have to get to that more in season. Shit, guys, in 6 days and 20 hours, we'll get to it then. It just practice. I don't know if you really want to talk about play calling. The only time that I didn't like stuff is they try to go too much wildcat in the red zone, and I run the ball. But we will break down the entire camp and what I think. We'll get through the scrimmage. I'll recap what I saw during fall and what I think, and based off of what all of us saw, and if anybody has another take, they're wrong, in my opinion, clearly. If we get to a situation where, or then we'll get to the prediction. So, look, I think you have three things ahead of you. Everyone's doubting you. You got to go take it to their ass. No one's going to give it to you. So to every player that's on that team, guys, everybody is going to pick against you. Literally. Everyone's picking against you. So that means that you got to go up to the Clemson and punch them in the mouth. And quite frankly, can you? Can you prove to the world that you can go into Clemson and punch them in the mouth? They got a great defensive line. Your offensive line sucks. Oh, well, we don't really know what you got a receiver. Oh, well, they got really good receivers. They got good DBs. They got good they got good linebackers. Go in there and punch them in the fucking mouth and don't let up. If you're up 21, 28, 35, run that son of a bitch up. Leave no doubt. If you're up by 42, I'm still going for 7 and letting Garrett rip that hoe. Now, you're not going to be up by 42. You're not. But I'm going out there to make a statement because enough is enough. Losing these opening games, enough is enough. Have you done enough during the offseason to get yourself there? That will be the ultimate question. All right. Let's get to it here. Guys, every episode is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. FanDuel is the premier and prime sponsor here at AYS Sports. We greatly appreciate our good friends over at FanDuel. Did not have a fantastic day at all. Your boy went 2 for 2 on the day. Sprinkled a little money line on UNLV that saved me a little bit. But 2 and 2 on the day over our good friends over at FanDuel. Go over to FanDuel. Look, litany of bets that you can make for week 1. Now, I do tell you this every time. If you're not into gambling, don't do it. I do it as fun. I put $25 in there every season. We go and have fun. In that, please bet responsibly. If you got some disposable income, go sign up over at FanDuel. Let's go have some fun. I told you that I'm doing a $1 parlay every single week. That included this week. Obviously didn't hit it. But $1 parlay, 20-leg parlay every single week. I'm doing it over there in FanDuel. If you need assistance, you need help, you have a problem, go call 1-800-GAMBLER or go over to FanDuel.com/RG today. But here soon throughout the season, we'll probably have some sign-up codes and some bonus cash that you can get with our good friends over at FanDuel. But every single episode and every single practice report is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. All right. Thumbs up in the chat, thumbs down in the chat if you're ready to get to it. I'm assuming to the 1,965 people that are in here right now who are going to hit the like and share and subscribe on YouTube, I'm sure you're ready to get into it. All right, couple of notes. Let's get to the scrimmage here. Couple of notes before we get rolling. I don't really want to have to repeat this, so let's get through it right now. Michael Van Buren was back at practice today and throwing. In case you missed it this past week, a week ago today, he jammed his finger, hitting his hand off of somebody's helmet, which was limited on Monday and Tuesday. Brian Kelly said that when we were at practice last week that he would be back on Thursday, and he was. But he was out there throwing today, and, well, he threw a lot. I think a lot of people in the media today is not going to give Michael Van Buren grace based off of today's practice. But Michael Van Buren was doing more than throwing, guys. He pretty much ran all day with the ones. When there was a run play, Garrett Nussmeier would come in, and he'd hand the ball off. And Michael Van Buren went in through all the pass plays with the ones and the twos, which pretty much solidifies him as being your number 2 guy because, God bless it, I always do this. I always want to call him A.J. Halsey. And it's his name is clearly not A.J. Halsey. But God bless it. Why can't I remember the kid's name to save my life? Colin Hurley. Thank you. But Colin Hurley ran with the 2s and 3s, mainly with the 3s, some with the 2s. But Michael Van Buren was out there a lot. Braylon Moore did not practice. He was there. He was in shorts. Looked like they were either in shoulder pads or spider pads. Couldn't really tell from the press box. But they were kind of getting after it. When they went 11-on-11, they still got after it. They did not tackle. Why not? Let's stay injury-free. Why would you even do that? But Braylon Moore was out, and he was in pads, in helmet, going through a lot through walkthroughs. Looked like he got a load management day. Brian Kelly with key important members of his team. He gave a lot of them, quote-unquote, load management days. He did it with Whit Weeks somewhat today, who was out there but in some limited action. But Braylon Moore was out. So that forced DJ Chester back to center for where he was a season ago, and Paul Mabenga at left guard. So let's get to Paul Mabenga. Guys, I really have absolutely no clue who truly LSU is going to start at left guard. I know there was a report this week that Cohen Eccles was making a move. Based off today, I know there's no way. There's just no way. And we'll get as to why in just a moment. It's got to be DJ Chester. It's got to be Paul Mabenga. Because right now, what I've seen from 78 and right now what I've seen from that position, I know that they are letting him battle. If today was it was very significant for him, it did not go well. In that, okay, I really think like Paul Mabenga might get the nod. Now, I also think that there's an avenue where DJ Chester is going to get the nod too. I don't know. I say all of that to say I have absolutely no clue who's going to start at left guard. But because Braylon Moore was out, DJ Chester gets moved back to center. Paul Mabenga's at left guard. Don't think that offensive line had a fantastic day on the left side. I really don't. Actually, left guard and center did not have a great day. Pass rush was not great. Our pass pro was not great. And they still got after it. So, in that, I would just say we feel pretty confident of what's going to happen here. Tyree Adams at left tackle, left guard, flip a coin, have no idea. I don't think 78 is ready. 61 at center, Josh Thompson at right guard, and Weston Davis with Carius Kern, quote unquote, out today. He ran all reps with the first team. That's another part along the offensive line. Carius Kern was on the sidelines. He was dressed out. Looked like he might have gotten a load management day. Maybe got nicked up a little bit this week, beat up a little bit this week, did the young freshman. I would assume, based off of what I saw, it really appears to me that everybody's quote-unquote healthy, camp healthy. Right, guys? These guys aren't 100%. They've been hitting for 4 weeks. Nobody's 100%. It looks like, in the most significant thing that we could talk about here tonight, it seems like you're injury-free. Knock on fake wood. Please, dear God, keep Chris Hilton. I am not repping Chris Hilton until Thursday. Keep him upright and healthy. Please, sweet baby Jesus up above. Look like you were pretty healthy throughout camp. Some nicks and bruises here and there, but it seemed like you were pretty injury-free. With a couple of guys out, there was one that I thought was a little significant because some of the guys that were out weren't necessarily training, meaning like Don McKinley was not out there today. He was out there today. He wasn't dressed out today. Don McKinley wasn't on the bike. He wasn't really moving around. He basically was getting off his feet. Looked like they gave him a quote-unquote load management day. The only person that was on the bike and doing some training stuff was Nick Anderson, the wide receiver out of Oklahoma. Why we got to continue to say that, or why I still say that, I have no clue. You should know who Nick Anderson is by now. Nick Anderson was on the bike, and Solomon Thomas was on the bike as well. Other than that, it seems as if, don't know what Brian Kelly's going to say on Monday. It appears as if right now you're fine. You're fine. You got through it. Thank you, sweet God up above. Guys, this time last year, Chris Hilton was out. So, please, in the name of the Father and the Holy Ghost, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, please, sweet Jesus. But that was about it for announcements. McKinley was out. Nick Anderson's on the bike. Braylon Moore was quote-unquote limited and out. Paul Mabenga at left guard, and Michael Van Buren was your quarterback today. Person I did not see out there, I am not saying that he wasn't out there. I did not see Jordan Gilbert. I don't know if he was where he was. I couldn't find him. I think, there was a kind of a question about where some of these guys were along the sidelines. I didn't see him. Not saying he wasn't there. Personally, I didn't see him. Somebody can come in here and say, hey, Jordan was out there. We saw X, Y, and Z, or we saw him. Sounds good. Have no clue if he was out there. But I personally did not see him. All right. Those are some updates. Just so we are all kind of in the realm of setting it up for you about what we're going to go through. If it's your first time through a practice report or scrimmage, we basically run from the beginning to end, from the start to finish of how practice was viewed, the way that we saw it. All right. 11 on 11, ones versus ones. Michael Van Buren is in at quarterback. And let me say something with the ones. And let me say something about this scrimmage. They rotated a shitload of people in there. You'd have a second-team wide receivers and first-team offensive line. You'd have first-team offensive line, first-team receivers, tight ends. They just rotated a lot. Based off this practice report, when I dictate ones versus ones, twos versus ones, ones versus twos, whatever it is, I'm basing everything off the offense and defensive lines. Okay? So when we go 11 on 11 period and you hear Destin Hill, incomplete, Xavion Thomas, incomplete, all of this mainly has to do with if you had your 5 offensive linemen in there or your 5 defensive linemen, how we're projecting them to be starting. That's how I based it, ones off of ones, twos versus twos. So just so we're all understood. 11 on 11 to start it off. Caleb Jackson, pistol, 4-yard run. Seems like the best way to run the football right now between all of it is just going behind the right side of the offensive line. Every time they try to run the ball, the left part of the offensive line just doesn't seem like it goes well for anybody. Be interesting to see how that transpires. But Jackson, a run off the right guard for 4 yards. Shotgun, Harold Perkins in the star. Want to stop right here. I said this week, and I want to make another emphasis. There was a thought going into from me during the offseason. If Harold Perkins moves to star based off of how many times Blake Baker is going to blitz that position, how many times Harold Perkins is going to come off the edge, guys, it's just been different. Harold Perkins, this camp has just been different. I don't know what this season transpires. I don't know if Blake Baker really sends him as much as he's done in camp. I don't know if Perk really finds a position at star. I don't know. I don't care what happens in season. From a fall camp report, from what our eyes have seen, 7 has been more disruptive than anybody, just as disruptive as anybody. Him coming off that slot, the opinion I had was unless an offensive line does something very unique or does some slide protections to Harold Perkins' side, there's not going to be a lot of days where Harold Perkins is faced off against, one-on-one against offensive tackles. Normally what's going to happen when he's being blitzed from that position, running backs and tight ends are going to pick him up. And Harold Perkins comes on a blitz on the second play from scrimmage. And Caden Durham is unable to secure a rush from Harold Perkins. Tries to get there. He's not quick enough. And I gave Harold Perkins a sack. It has been different. Again, go out there next Saturday. Perkins is ineffective for all I know. Right now, shit. Another thing. If Harold Perkins is not lined up at star, he's at edge. On the backside. They're just saying right now to me, look, Perk, we don't think you can play on the edge for all 3 downs. But we're going to do as much as we can to keep you on the edge at star. And when you go to some second team, specialized stuff, specialized pass rush stuff, as an example, like Jack Pyburn at defensive tackle, Bernard Gooden at the other defensive tackle, and Patrick Payton on the other edge. When they do some special stuff, Perk is coming off the edge or going out in coverage. Don't matter. That's what they've been doing with him all camp. We've been out there for 4 weeks. Every media availability, we have been out there. Today, Perkins just another day where you're like, bro, please, sweet Jesus, let him hit K. Klubnik. Right? Like, please let this translate to the field on Saturday. Please, sweet Lord. Because if it does, he's going to continue to make plays. But Michael Van Buren is sacked by Harold Perkins. If you don't want to dictate it a sack, Chris Hilton on a fade is missed about 7 yards. How you miss a guy that runs 24 miles an hour is beyond me. Yes, I said 24, 23.7. Beats the hell out of me. Third play from scrimmage. Michael Van Buren misses Bauer Sharp on a fade route up the seam. Busted coverage by what looked like to be Tamarcus Cooley. And it's a fade down the seam that is missed. he had him wide open. Blocked perfectly. You got to hit Bauer sharp there. I mean, just a bad throw by Michael Van Buren. It is what it is. Swing pass to Caleb Jackson, goes for 4. Ashton stamps in on the stop. Then a roll left by Michael Van Buren is airmailed. I thought he was trying to hit the receiver. It looked like he was trying to get it in bounds, but basically it was just kind of like a throwaway. Counter run by Caleb Jackson goes for 5. Stop right there. This is like the 6th or 7th time I've seen them run counter in 3 days. The last 3 days. The counter run was a staple for former Florida State offensive line coach and offensive coordinator Alex Atkins. The best runs that they have done has come off counters, has come off of a guard being pulled. I do wonder if Alex Atkins in this counter game gets really interesting. What has been very interesting, this camp more than most, is there have been some times where Garrett has pulled it. Garrett's not in there. Michael Van Buren, and just because they thought he would run alone, was really interesting to see how they reacted. Because a 5-yard run is better than anything I've seen you do all camp. And I got to give Josh Thompson some credit, moving Bernard Gooden and getting him out of there and flushing him out and getting 5 yards. Not bad. Not bad. Really good run. So fourth time I've seen, or third day in a row, third practice in a row, about 7 or 8 times I've seen them run a counter from both sides. And I know that the last time we talked about this run game and schematics, they did some wham blocks, which I'm still not a part of. I know a lot of people like to do it in the NFL. I had a former head coach text me, high-level head coach. We were talking about it. He was listening to the show, and he literally texted me, could show you on this phone. We're talking about the wham block. I don't agree with it. I don't think your linemen are fast enough. They've run a lot of counters. Off the counter, it seemed as if that they always have an RPO based in it. Really good read by Michael Van Buren to give the ball off to Caleb Jackson. He goes for 5. Post, but let me back up. Last thing I just say on this. I don't want to overreact to them running a counter run and saying it's Alex Atkins involved and all that. However, I do find it interesting. I find it very interesting. Maybe you found something. But you better find something. You better find it quick. All right. So something to keep our eyes on in week 1. Aaron Anderson on a post route. Double outs. Post. Aaron Anderson. Airmailed. Wide open. I said to start the show, or start the segment, Michael Van Buren's not going to be given grace. I don't know if he should be given grace. If you're me and give him grace, I would just say that, look, man, you had a kid on his throwing hand, had a jam finger, looked like everything was coming out high. Don't know why. I mean, everything was hot and coming out, and it was elevated. He had Aaron Anderson wide open. Had nothing to do with blown coverage. Aaron Anderson was faster than Tamarcus Coley. Bottom line. And I got to be honest with you, I would live with that. Let me say this too on the airmail on the post. The thing that I liked about, even though it would have been completed and airmailed, if it's caught, AJ Halsey is there to absolutely annihilate Aaron Anderson. There might be in a game, I think AJ Halsey kills somebody, legitimately. AJ's good, man. He's going to start. I've seen him be in too many situations more than all the last 2 years, unless he just flounders. I've just not seen safeties be remotely around fast receivers. Ever. I've seen them run away from stuff. Bottom line is Aaron Anderson catches that, and in a game, he's getting demolished. So, Tamarcus got beat. AJ would have cleaned it up, but it's airmailed. Harlem Berry on a diamond formation. So 3 wide receivers and the Harlem Berry in a diamond. Screen from the 10-yard line. They said that they let him in. So, yeah. Caleb Jackson getting a lot of run. I think on some big package stuff, 12 personnel stuff, 2 tight ends and a running back, you're going to see 28. And on some quick hitter screen type situations or spread out stuff, you're going to see Harlem Berry. I don't think that you have a second string running back. I think more than not, you have situational backs. Both of them are running with the ones in situational stuff. So Diamond goes in from 10 yards, and they're in. Second unit rolls in. Still the same first-team offensive line for the first couple of plays here. First-team defense is still in as well. Caden Durham on an inside zone run for no gain. Berry on a run for 4 yards out on zone play. Really, really big cut by Harlem Berry on West Weeks to get 4. Had made a guy miss in the backfield. West did not touch him in the backfield. Problem was that West Weeks was there. Harlem hit him with a little gets inside, gets 4. Harlem was scooting, man. I am interested to see how they do some things with Harlem Berry. Very interesting, because you just don't know what you're going to get with Harlem Berry. Can Harlem Berry be an X factor at any point in any time here? Because if he is, then, well, shit, we need him. I'm going to throw Harlem Berry 2 or 3 times next Saturday and see what happens. I'm going to see what happens. Can he make a couple of plays? And don't go away from him if he catches the ball and he gets tackled down. Can't do that. You got to build his confidence. So if you're going to get him the ball, get him the ball. Parker, meaning now this comes Colin Hurley. Parker on a seam route down the left seam by Michael Van Buren is caught for 20 yards. More than the inside fade that kind of fades out. He's going right down that seams, and Hurley splits the safety for 20. Billiot on a quick hitch for 7 yards. Really good throws. Michael Turner was in, and Joel Rogers, it looked like 22 was in on this. They gave up a seam, and they gave up a hitch. It is what it is. Harlem Berry on a swing route for 8 yards. That's a situation with Harlem, man. He can catch and he can move. I am really interested to see what they do with 22. Again, I'll just continue to say this. I think it's 1A or 2A, 2B. Situational stuff of what they're going to do with both of these guys. Berry on an inside zone run is tackled in the backfield by Patrick Payton. More of a zone read. Patrick comes off the edge unblocked. Hurley makes a wrong read, and it's bad. Colin Hurley then would airmail a slot fade to Parker that is missed, and then a Hurley draw, and we would be done with 11-11. Not a lot going on there. Kind of more of a walkthrough in some regards, I guess. I didn't count it as that. I thought they were really trying to get some things moving. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. In the first 11-11 period here, just a couple of my thoughts. I'm glad Michael Van Buren's back, and I know he's airmailing some stuff. I'm going to give him a little grace coming off of an injury. I've seen you run some different things from the run game out of formation. I saw you get the ball out to the flat to some of your running backs in extensions of the run. Hey, can't run the ball? Screw it. We're going to throw some screens. We're going to get the ball out quick. Falls in line with what we talked about in the last practice report of Joe Sloan getting all over the asses of these wide receivers and blocking. I think they might throw a couple of quick swing passes next Saturday. They've repped the shit out of it. And if they don't come in here saying, hey, Blake, they didn't do anything. They didn't run any plays that you said that they did during fall camp. Guys, what do you want me to do? You know, I had a complaint from somebody last year that said in a Twitter Spaces of all places. That's why I don't go back to those cesspools. But the things that they ran in camp, they didn't run in the game. Guys, what do you want me to do? Then guess what? They were repping something all fall when the media came out there that they didn't run. Who's wasting time? Who's wasting time? I'm not wasting time. So I don't know if they're going to do some of these same counter runs, RPOs off of it. I don't know. I do know that you didn't run counter a lot last year. And in some of those things in the counter run, you definitely didn't have an RBO based off of it with a tight end in the flat. You just didn't. That was Alex Atkins. We should remember it because Florida State in 23 kicked our asses with it over and over and over again. We'll see. Look, Joe Sloan gets a lot of criticism. I understand why he gets a lot of criticism. Because if you can't run the football, you got to get the backs out of the backfield and throw them the football, and they got to catch it. You got to find ways to have extensions of the run game. The only way that I think is the most effective, throw it out in the flat, throw some swings, throw some bubbles, do whatever you got to do to get extensions of the run game. But the bottom line remains, guys, they're doing this because I don't know if they think that they can go into Clemson and effectively run the football. Based off of everything that we've seen, that's what I think. I don't think that they feel great about the run game. I don't. So get these athletes out in space and and force them to run sideline to sideline and keep up with your athletes. They got great ones too. But get out there to the edge, get yardage, get down. Guys, if you get a swing pass on first down for 4 or 5 yards, it's a win for me. It's a win. 2nd and 5. Shit, do it again if you want to. Go get another 3 or 4. I'd rather be in 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 than what we were in all last season. Please continue to do it. Please. So that's the first 11 on 11 period. LSU would go to 7 on 7 and offensive line versus defensive line and pass pro. Let's go to the offensive line, defensive line first. Dylan Carpenter, hello. Dylan Carpenter wins both reps over Tyree Adams. Dylan Carpenter, hello. Welcome to the show, big fella. Whew. I mean, I don't think Tyree Adams was ready for old Dylan Carpenter today. But he gets the best of Tyree Adams twice. Nice little under rip move. These guys, I got to tell you, I'll continue to say this. Your edge room is the deepest room on your team. Shit. I don't care what y'all tell me. Kevin Peoples got them dudes ready. He's got them ready. Look good, man. But Carpenter wins 2 reps off of Tyree Adams. Bernard Gooden beats Paul Mabinga. And then Paul Mabinga flips right around at left guard and gets one of his own. So they split. DJ Chester at center over Ahmad Bro. Twice, Ahmad Bro tried to hit DJ Chester with a couple bull rushes. And I got to be real with you. DJ looked really good there. Really good. Bernard Gooden did hit it. Paul Mabinga on an inside swim move. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. Poor Paul. I hate it. I hate it for him. Next one, he tried to do the same thing on the outside, and it didn't work. Just didn't work. But DJ over Ahmad Bro tried to bull rush him twice. Just didn't work. Josh Thompson on Sadir Mitchell wins both reps. I got to tell you this. Sadir Mitchell's a strong dude, man. And he ain't got a lot of pass rush moves. One thing that I know from Sadir Mitchell is the simple nature that dude's strong, man. He is very strong. And I got to give Josh Thompson credit. Sadir Mitchell's trying to get to the quarterback. He's not half-assing this. Like, this isn't like him trying to half-ass anything. Got to give Josh Thompson some respect. I thought physically he stood up. I got to give him that. Josh has had a interesting camp. I think there have been some bad days, some bad days. I think there have been some good days. I consider today a good one. Sadir Mitchell trying to really get after old Josh Thompson and bull rush him. I got to be real. He stood firm because we saw what happened all spring with Sadir Mitchell, and just shit did not work. Guys, he was killing them. Hadn't seen a lot of Sadir Mitchell this fall, but got to give Josh Thompson credit. He wins both reps and pass pro. Tyree Adams and Jamari Butler split reps. Jamari Butler's an interesting case for me because of all the guys at edge, I feel like Butler has not made the plays that I think we maybe anticipated that he would. He could easily go out there during the season and really show up and show out. He just has been probably the fourth edge in this scenario. I've seen Jack Pyburn make a lot of plays. I've seen Patrick Payton make plays. Patrick Payton made one today that actually made two today. Actually, now I think about it, in the first run game period, had a tackle for loss. No, he's made three today. I've seen Gabe Rutherford, like today, have a sack. Gabe Rutherford's been fantastic. Jamari Butler's been the other side of that. And I think that that's really interesting. Right tackle. I like when both guys win a rep. Makes me feel good. Makes me feel like, hey, man, you just got a lot of really good competitiveness. Weston Davis got beat by an experienced guy, but turned right around and got a rep, and he won. Man, this edge room is deep. Dylan Carpenter showed up today. So it is what it is. Jack Pyburn on Ori Williams. They both split. Jack Pyburn with a really, really good spin move on the inside gets to the quarterback. Shanklin and Zion Williams. Zion. Two freshmen won reps over Cohen Eccles and Ori Williams. 4 reps lost in the second team here. Guys, I don't think 78's ready. I think he needs to get stronger. Maybe he's done some really good things in the run game, but guys, in pass pro, it's just not been great. It's not been great. It needs to get to the weight room, man. Really. I think it's a strength thing. I think technique-wise, Cohen Eccles is probably, from a technique standpoint, probably your best, the way that I view it. From a strength standpoint, let me say this. If Cohen Eccles had some of the strength of some of these other offensive linemen, he'd be your starting left guard because his technique is pretty flawless. It's just, I feel like that when guys know that they can overwhelm him, they do, and they go for it. You can't have that with a quarterback that does not like to run. You need a guard that can stand firm. I think of the Saints in the early years of Sean Payton. Remember, they had the all-star lineup in the interior with the guards. I think both of your guards made like 7 Pro Bowls combined. In that, if you're going to have a guy that doesn't want to run and step up in that pocket, you need your guards to be bullies in pass pro. Just did not like the reps at all. I didn't like the reps in the run game in the 11-on-11 periods either, to be blunt with you. I think this call comes down to Chester. I think it comes down to Mabenga. Maybe they give Cohen Eccles a shot. Maybe Cohen Eccles has a great week of practice that we're not privy to. But I just don't think it looked good to the level that it needed to go today. Couple of other things here. Sadir Mitchell and Josh Thompson would go up against each other 2 more times, and both bull rushes are met and stopped from Sadir Mitchell to Josh Thompson. Gabe Rutherford over Weston Davis twice. Guys, I think Gabe Rutherford might be overall the most talented human being on your team. I know I understand what I'm saying there is a massive double pause here. It's a mouthful. But Gabe Relaford from spring, I could make a case. Gabe Relaford won the spring, the player of the spring for me. I don't know if he wouldn't win it again. I do think I'd give it to Bernard Gooden, Harold Perkins, or Garrett Nussmeier if we want to be real. Actually, I would give it to Bernard Gooden from a defense. I give it to Garrett Nussmeier easily from an offensive standpoint. Easily. Not remotely close. I think Garrett's been very good and efficient. I really, really have loved what I've seen from Gabe Relaford. Guys, there's a reason you went out there and got 3 edges in the portal, and Gabe Relaford has not let up. They hadn't won. They hadn't beaten him out. I know last Thursday I said Gabe Relaford, a top 40 guy in the country. When he came in, somebody reminded me at the end of the process, Gabe Relaford jumped up into the top 30s in his recruiting class. He has been very special. Guys, I always worry about guys having massive fall camps and not showing up. I really do. I get very worried by that. 19 has shown up, and that's why he's starting. I think Jack Pyburn and Patrick Payton are going to split reps based off of what they want to do. And when they see Jack is more favorable in a situation, Gabe's going to come out and Patrick Payton's going to come in. And then they're going to really mix this thing up as best they can and see what sticks on certain situations. But Gabe Relaford winning both reps in pass pro, I thought looked pretty flawless. He would do it in 11-on-11 in less than 10 minutes. He would go out there and sack Michael Van Buren. So, all right, not a lot from Garrett Nussmeier today, but you're not going to get that either. And that was the offensive defense. 7-on-7. Let's run through some of these quickly. I'm not going to go through the second half of twos versus twos. We're going to consider this all ones versus ones, just in the sense of, listen, man, I don't know how to dictate what they're trying to do because Garrett's not in there. Hurley came in there maybe at the very end, but pretty much this entire 7-on-7 is Michael Van Buren, so you got a really good look of him. Barryon Brown in the flat goes for 6 yards, followed up by Caden Durham in the flat for 7 yards. Van Buren just getting some early throws, easy throws early. Right now, it seems as if the 4 guys minus Nick Anderson, because he's not out there, but Nick has not really ran with the ones a lot. The 4 guys that I think are going to get the most reps at receiver right now are Xavier Thomas, Chris Hilton, Barryon Brown, and Aaron Anderson. And they're going to do some unique things with the tight ends in the slot, and they're going to run a lot of things with tight end. Barryon and Chris, I'm very fascinated by the receiving core of Barryon Brown, Aaron Anderson, Chris Hilton. You don't have a lot of big bodies out there necessarily. You still freaking have Trey'Dez Green. You still have Trey'Dez. And if you want to split Trey'Dez out wide, guys, they have done it and will do it. Just got to be unique in that. Those are your 4 receivers that we've seen run with the ones the most. And the practice reports have dictated that. I do think that there have been situations where I thought Xavier Thomas was going to get beat out. Guys, he has not allowed Nick Anderson to do it. Blake, it's a different position. Yes, but Xavier Thomas has run a lot of things from the boundary. Blake, he's 5'9", and got 2 5'9" receivers. Yeah, because Xavier Thomas keeps going over 6'3" corners. 6'3", he's not 6'5". 6'3" corners and coming down with it. And I think DJ Pickett's a really good athlete. But those have been the 4. 2 really quick throws, though, by Michael Van Buren. Things would get really bad. Barryon Brown beats Mansour Delane on a fade that falls incomplete. He had a step on him. Actually had a pair of steps on him. Got to get that connection down with Barryon Brown. Barryon's had a very good 3 weeks. Very good. Barryon's come to play. Guys, he was very electric at Kentucky. When I know LSU football, LSU media football, clipped our segment when Barrion Brown committed to LSU, and they posted it in their transfer portal highlight thing on Twitter. I will say then what I'll say now. If Barrion Brown puts it all together based off of what we saw him do at Kentucky, he might be something. Him and Chris and Aaron bring an interesting combination of what the hell they want to do. Guys, there are going to be a lot of people deep, and it's going to be on these quarterbacks to get them the football. Can't keep missing out of bounds. Barrion had a step on Mansour Delane. Should have been caught. Should have been 6, but it wasn't. Parker on an in route that goes for 12. Keys looked like he missed his coverage in the middle of the field, but really freaking good throw by Michael Van Buren. Corner route by Trey'Dez Green for 16, almost into the end zone. Just unable to really get a hold of Trey'Dez was Tamarcus Cooley. They move the ball up into the red zone. They're at the 20-yard line. Durham on an inside check down. Goes for 11. Looked like he had kind of checked down and then started moving left. Michael Van Buren hit him as the backers were trying to follow Kane Durham. They're unable to do it. A.J. Halsey comes down with the snap, or comes down with the stop. Mansour Delane on what appeared to be a quick hitch from on with Chris Hilton. I don't think Michael Van Buren could have telegraphed this anymore if he tried. He stared down Chris the entire time. Mansour Delane was literally in man coverage and saw him and literally broke on the ball before the ball was thrown. He knew. That is the 4th or 5th interception we've seen from Mansour Delane. Kids had a phenomenal camp. It's had a phenomenal camp. When you bring in a kid like Mansour Delane, I keep calling them kids. They're not kids. When you bring in a guy like Mansour Delane, based off the track record against really good receivers in the ACC, Blake, the ACC's trash. Not a receiver, they're not. He's been very good. I mean, I just don't know what else to say about this kid. By the way, later, there would be a pass batted up in the air by Patrick Payton. Mansour Delane is inches away from having 2 interceptions on the day. My man's going all out at practice. People keep asking me about Mansour Delane. Guys, he's catching interceptions. He's diving for footballs in what some people, I'm sure, in their practice reports talked about a walkthrough. Ain't no walkthrough for Mansour Delane. Quick itch. I mean, just telegraphed, man. Just absolutely telegraphed. Guys, Chris Hilton would probably be the only person that could run him down and catch him. Bad throw. Bad decision. So, yeah. Xavion Thomas on a drag route that goes for 11. West Weeks on the stop. Fade route to Trey'Dez Green. Trey'Dez was out on the boundary, is missed out of bounds. And then Barry in the flat goes for 7. All in all, just ineffective offensively. I mean, look, you had some quick throws. And outside the quick throws, you got 2 in the flat. You got an overthrown fade. You got a corner route by Trey'Dez. You got a quick hitch that I didn't go through with Donovan Green that goes for 5. Francis drops 1. They go in the red zone. Durham goes for 11. Mansour Delane interception. Got a couple of things in the flat, a fade route that's out of bounds, and a drag route by Xavion Thomas that goes for 11. I mean, listen, the defense continues to win. It's the bottom line. It's been the talk of the camp, and it is what it is. It is what it is. All right. To end the practice, we're going to skip to the end for just a moment because we got a lot to go through in 11 on 11s. Guys, at the end of the practice, all they worked on was special teams. I love Ahmad Anand. I think he's done a fantastic job of coaching this fall. We'll see if it progresses throughout the season, and he's really changed some things on special teams. Guys, they are more detailed on special teams more than they've ever been. I have been out to 4 straight fall camps under Brian Kelly. He has been very gracious. Has Brian Kelly for letting us out there. With that all being said, I think that there has been a situation here that, how do I want to say this? Now I'm trying to think if I should even say it at all. I don't think that you were effective there because you had other position coaches that were a part of special teams, and then you had Bob Diaco. I don't think Bob Diaco really cared about special teams. I don't think you took special teams seriously enough, and you weren't as detailed. That's why your punt game reflected the way that you wanted it, or that you did not want it to reflect. That's why you had some bad situations in special teams last year, like Texas A&M. What was the game? Was it Nichols? I think it might have been Nichols, where LSU tried to line up for a field goal before halftime, and they couldn't get it off, and Brian Kelly lost his shit on Damian Ramos. I think y'all remember that. You've just been so much more detailed. This guy's been on special teams. It's all he's done. He's done it at a high level. They went through a lot of special team situations. Really love what I saw there. Also, they ran a lot of scout team. I don't know what you want me to make of scout team. LSU did not run anything on these scout team periods versus Clemson that would shatter the earth. I don't know what you want me to say. They ran zone reads. They ran inside zone. They threw a couple of quick hitches and quick slants and walk through, I guess, just to get a look of some things. They ran a lot of run game stuff and walk through at the end of practice and preparing for Clemson that starts on really, really, really on Monday. That's about it. I mean, the last 30 to 45 minutes of practice was them going all through walkthrough. So I wanted to get that out of the way because we got some 11-on-11 stuff we need to talk about. This was the main chunk of practice. This is where down markers came out, and everybody is on the sidelines as they're getting ready to kind of quote-unquote scrimmage. After the first 2 periods of 11-on-11, LSU would stop for whatever reason. I have no clue as to why. They would stop doing the down marker. In the first 2 periods, they went to a down marker on every play, meaning first down, second down, third down, fourth down. After 2 periods, they wouldn't. I don't know why. Maybe because I don't know why. The reason I make it a big deal is, well, the offense didn't do great, and so I think they just stopped. I think BK's like, all right, stop it with the down marker. Let's get to 11-on-11, the quote-unquote scrimmage. Michael Van Buren is in and into the flat. He tries to throw to a receiver. I couldn't see who he was trying to intend the ball to because my vision was blocked on who he was trying to attend it to, but it looks like he makes a quick throw into the flat. It does fall incomplete, so you move to 2nd and 10. Michael Van Buren is behind Aaron Anderson on a post route. Aaron would have still gotten cleaned. Brother would have gotten smoked if he would have caught the football. A.J. Halsey was in coverage, but the ball was behind Aaron Anderson. Just a late throw by Michael Van Buren. It would have gone for a first down, but it's missed. A.J. Halsey would have been there to hit him. So it's twice where you got a post route from the slot from Aaron Anderson that A.J. Halsey's in the vicinity and is head hunting. Kick and play, man. It's going to be interesting to watch A.J. Halsey. Very, very, very interesting. But the throws behind on a quick post, or I say just quick post, but a post in the interior, A.J. Halsey there to defend. 3rd and 10 brings something very interesting. Remember how I talked about Harold Perkins coming off the edge. This is ones versus ones, by the way. They're going to send my man on third down, brother. They're going to man up and man coverage and run some quarters. Brother, they sending number 7 on third downs. Now, defensive line in on that particular play. Jack Pyburn moves over into the interior on 3rd and 10. Patrick Payton comes in at the left edge or right edge, and Gabe Rutherford moves to the left edge. If you bring on 3rd and long Pyburn, Rutherford, Payton, and Harold Perkins from the star, shit. Bernard Gooden was the other interior defensive lineman. Shit. All right. Y'all going to go ahead and y'all going to find out. I'm going feet down. I think that edge room that's an elite pass rush. You're going to get to some people. You're going to get home and get to some people this year. And if we get Clemson in 3rd and 10, I'm licking my chops. Pause. Shit. All right. Shit. It's a bullish thing that I've seen from LSU all fall camp. If they keep doing that, shit. It's going to be lethal. Speaking of that, Harold Perkins comes off the edge, forces Michael Van Buren up into the pocket, and I'm assuming West Weeks, who would come down and sack Michael Van Buren. I think that Weeks' guy was Caden Durham, and when Caden Durham tried to block Harold Perkins, West Weeks came down. Harold Perkins comes off the edge. Caden Durham with a really, really, really good pass block for Michael Van Buren. But Perk does the interesting thing. Perk tries to get to the outside when he can't get to the outside because Durham makes a really good block. He takes his right hand and gets Durham and forces Michael Van Buren up into the pocket. Perk's been on one. West Weeks comes down. Michael Van Buren is sacked. They are going to – remember in a Rookie of the Year when Henry Roland-Garner comes in for the first time in a Cubs uniform and Skip Martinella looks at Henry and says, throw the heat. Cade Klubnik and these other quarterbacks are going to feel the heat. They're going to send it after him. Really, really good play. Really, really good play. Really great coverage on the outside. Michael Van Buren had no time. So sacked by West Weeks, but forced by Harold Perkins. 4th and about 14 would bring up a critical situation for the offense. Michael Van Buren is pressured off the edge again by number 7. And on the opposite side, as Michael Van Buren tries to scramble left, he is sacked by Gabe Rutherford. All right. All right. Shit. I mean, they just got after it, man. They just got after him. So really good play there. Ones versus twos. Garrett Nussmeier would come in. First team offense versus second team defense. Caden Durham with a run for 7 on 1st and 10 that bring up 2nd and 3. They blew the whistle after the 7-yard run on the inside by Caden Durham. By the way, Devon Keys in on the stop. After they moved it up to the 2nd and 3rd, they moved it back. So, don't know what that's about. Harlan Berry on an inside zone run goes for no gain. Jacobian Guillory on the stop. Really, really good play by Jacobian. Michael Van Buren then goes under center and on an out route to Aaron Anderson. It is broken up by Ashton Stamps. The other corner with the first team, key here, the other corner with the first team, quote-unquote first team defense today was P.J. Woodland. It's P.J. Woodland. Remember, we've had a lot of conversations about P.J. I don't know if it's going to be Ashton Stamps. I don't know if it's going to be DJ Pickett, Jakeem Jackson, or P.J. Woodland, who continues to run with the ones. Because the last time we saw this team, P.J. Woodland was the other boundary corner to Mansour Delane. All right. Been a very interesting camp. Really good play on Aaron Anderson on an out route by Ashton Stamps. Really, really freaking good play. So you have a 3-and-out there. They would run an in route on 4th down to Barrion Brown. So far left boundary. Far left boundary, there's an in route by Barrion Brown that is caught for 18. DJ Pickett on the stop. DJ just got beat. He just got beat. Really freaking good throw by Michael Van Buren. Barrion has had 3 really good weeks, making some big plays down the field. All right. After that, the first team offense would run off. The twos would run in, Colin Hurley being their quarterback. By the way, I said Nuss came in. Nuss came in for both. There was a run for 7 and then a toss to the left that got no gain. I threw the toss out because they backed the ball up. So he came in for a play. Michael Van Buren came in after the with the Barry no gain. 2 offense comes out, second team offense comes in. Colin Hurley is in. 1 first team defense is back in. And an RBO that is almost picked off by Mansour Delane as he dives. It's a quick slant to Destin Hill, and Mansour Delane reads it, comes up, almost picks the ball off on the RPO. Really bad decision by Colin Hurley. A check down to Harlem Berry is missed. Colin Hurley got lucky. Pass rush was immense. Coming off the far right side, Jamari Butler forces Colin Hurley up, and he tried to hit a check down, and he airmailed a check down, and it almost got picked again. A slant to Colin Billiot is missed by Colin Hurley, and you force 4th down. Harlem Berry on an outside zone run is tackled behind the line of scrimmage by Wes Weeks. Wes has had a really good camp too. Really, really, really good camp too. Read zone. So they ran another play here. There's a zone read by Colin Hurley. Harold Perkins comes down on the blitz and gets a tackle for loss. So ones absolutely dominating the ones versus ones and twos versus ones. All right, we got ones versus twos. First team offense versus second team defense on all of the run plays, every one of them. Garrett Nussmeier was in for the run plays. 12 personnel, Harlem Berry off the right side is tackled for a loss against Michael Turner. I don't know what they're doing. They motioned out a receiver. Michael Turner didn't go with him. He just saw an outside zone and made a tackle for loss. It just kind of looked like a really interesting play design. I have no idea what was going on there. Berry on the outside run to the left goes for 8 yards. Harlem Berry getting a lot of action. Draw play to Caden Durham goes for 5. So some really good runs there. Got a tackle for loss, run for 8, and then a run for 5. That'll give you a first down. Michael Van Buren hits Bauer Sharp in the flat after a play action that goes for 8. Deshaun Spears on the tackle there. Xavion Thomas on a post route. Michael Van Buren comes in on this situation for Garrett Nuss. Michael Van Buren comes in for the Bauer Sharp flat and then comes in for the next play, all the passing plays. Xavion Thomas, a post route TD on Michael Turner, about 65 yards in for a touchdown. I'll give Michael Van Buren this. If he's got time to throw it, he's going to let one rip. Threw one for about 45, 50 yards in the air. Beautiful throw to Xavion Thomas on a post. Goes for a touchdown. Would be the only touchdown of the day. Quick slant to Chris Hilton is batted up in the air by Patrick Payton, almost picked off by Devon Keys. Swing pass to the right. Phillip Wright is brought into the backfield. He gets about 6, and that would be it. So you got a really good play there. You got the post route for a touchdown. You got a couple multiple runs against the twos. An outside run by Barry, a draw play by Caden Durham. You get a flat, a play action in the flat. It goes Bauer Sharp, and then a post TD, and then the ball batted in the air, which really good play by Patrick Payton. And then a swing pass to the right for Phillip Wright, or left for Phillip Wright, goes for 6. So really, really good, effective drive there for the offense. Second team offense, last period here. Second team offense versus the first team defense. Absolutely freaking dominated. I mean, demolished. Juwan Johnson on the outside is tackled for a loss by Jack Pyburn. Blew up the right tackle, our left tackle. I have no idea who it was. Pyburn killed that man. Killed him. Got his own little pancake, defensive pancake. Patrick Payton comes in on a sack. I mean, just demolished the right tackle. Again, this edge room, just absolutely disgusting. And then on the final play of the 11-on-11s, Johnson would catch the ball on a check down. Juwan Johnson from Colin Hurley, and that is your scrimmage. So, all in all, I thought a good day, the last day of fall camp, and an interesting one to compact. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get to a quick break, and when I come back, I'm going to break all this down. I'm going to give you my thoughts. I'm going to give you my fall camp thoughts, and I am going to give you my prediction for the team. I know we have some super chats in here, Brandon tells me. So that is your scrimmage. We've run through it all. I thought a very productive day. When we come back, we'll get to some super chats, questions, thoughts, and we'll wrap some things up here. So really effective day. All right, let me get to a quick break. Hit the like and share. We'll get to that next. Stay with us.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man, he's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler, he'll shoot you straight.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about our good friends over at Red Stick Financial. They're your local residential mortgage broker located right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. At Red Stick Financial, they find the bank that works for your particular set of needs to purchase the home of your dreams or refinance the current one. They truly are your partners in this process, and they pride themselves in helping individuals and families with one simple goal in mind, and that is to make home financing approachable, attainable, and stress-free. They are licensed in all Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. So from Amarillo to Meridian and everything in between, they have you covered. Red Stick Financial brings you creative, customized solutions, and they don't believe in the one-size-fits-all when it comes to loans. They even have special options for mobile and manufactured homes located in a flood zone and stated income financing for those of us who are self-employed borrowers. If you or someone you know is looking to buy a home, refinance an existing mortgage, or simply want to know what options are out there for your future, give Red Stick Financial a call today at 225-407-9250. That's 225-407-9250. Or check them out online at redstickfinancial.com. That's redstickfinancial.com. Before you purchase the home of your dreams or you go and do that refinance, you need to go local. Go Red Stick.
We're back.
Do y'all remember former LSU DB LaTerrence Welch? If you do, he had an interception for UNLV today. How about that? Good for him. Cajun Curveball with a $5 super chat says, you and Carter had me crying while I was fixing up my rental property. My pops thought y'all hated each other. Is that fella not an LSU fan? Me and Carter got after it with the 9-game conference schedule. I'm not getting back into that. Go to Carter's page. He was wrong. I love him to death. He's wrong, in my opinion. I do not agree with the 9-game conference schedule. You already have the toughest strength of schedule in the country of all the teams that you want to get in the playoff. Every one of them. The worst that you had was Texas, and it still outranked and beat the Big Ten. I mean, it's just so dumb. It's so dumb. Why you make things harder? I don't know. Broad337 with a $5 super chat says, Blake just left the UH versus Stanford game, Hawaii game, because Broad337's in Hawaii. Great game. Hawaii has a dog red-shirted freshman quarterback. Looks like they got a damn good kicker, too, from Japan. It was a self-taught YouTube kicker. Walked off a game today in college football. So all the NIL, all the portal, and you had a freaking walk-on kid who taught himself how to kick from Japan win a game for Hawaii. How about them apples? How about them apples? All right, let's get to some thoughts here. So LSU's done with fall camp, and we have been out there for every media availability. In that, I will say this. Here are my thoughts as we wrap this fall camp up. I think that from 4 weeks ago until today, the constant theme for me and what we saw in fall camp in 2025 is simple. I saw the defense win almost every day. I know that there are days that the media is not out there, and offense could have easily won those days. I felt like majority of the days, maybe outside of one, I remember that we were out there and I thought the offense really took it to the defense. In that, I do think majority of this has been won defensively. I think your defense knows your calls by now. I think that there are just a lot of things going on, but I do think offensively you've had some struggles. Going into this game, I still think that my biggest concern offensively is if you're going to run the football. There's just not enough that I have seen from this team offensively that makes me want to go into Clemson and say, yeah, man, I think we're going to be able to run the football a little bit. There have been a lot of explosive plays for this offense, both in the run game and in the pass game. I want to believe that this team can be better along their offensive line running the football. Can you get worse? Yes. I don't know how much worse you can legitimately get. Things can be worse. Maybe they manifest themselves against Clemson, and maybe they force you to do that. But a lot of days that I was out there, I just thought defensively you won. I do think defensively, and for what it's worth on some of the struggles that maybe you did have offensively, I do think that you were just that much better. I have a lot of faith in your staff. I have a lot of faith in your coordinator. I do have a lot of faith in that you might just have a lot of really good freaking personnel. If that's the case, I still worry about interior defensive line to some extent. If that is the case, then we just saw a really good defense take it to your offense every week. The last time that we saw a side of the ball at an LSU fall camp be this dominant in a situation was 2023. I don't think it's that. I don't think we're seeing one of the top 10 defenses in the country. I don't think it's that. I don't know if it's that. But I do just think that you've gotten so much more athletic defensively that it puts you in a very interesting situation. I do have a lot of confidence that you can make stops, potentially, that you can make stops that I don't know that if in the last two seasons that you would have come close to doing. I am very excited about what I've seen defensively. There is something in all of this that has been in the back of my mind the entire camp. I have talked about it. I haven't really brought it up much, but I do think this defense knows all of their offenses play like calls, like protection calls, all of it. I legitimately do. I think Harold Perkins, for a fact, knows, And I think that Mansour Delane's been around long enough to know what's going on. I don't know if that's what's benefiting them, but I know that they've had the same calls since spring, and I don't know them. I don't know what I don't know what they mean. I have a good idea of what they mean, but I don't know what they mean. But if I'm hearing them every day, guys, they're definitely hearing them every day, and they know what's going on. Is that a situation? Is that the situation that they just know what's coming, and they've been able to dominate through that? Very much could be. But the biggest concern that I have right now is, can you go into Clemson and run the football? If you can go into Clemson running the football, you're going to win. I have no inkling about it, unless you just do some dumb things and you can't, some of the same things that have been plaguing you manifest themselves that just didn't show up the last month. You're not solidified at left guard right now. I don't know who's going to start there, and I've just seen you not be effective from what my eyeballs have seen. Maybe they can do it against a defensive line in front seven that was 85th in the country last year in rushing defense. Maybe that's what we need. But it is my biggest concern. If we're talking about a defense, I do think that you're really good at all three levels. I don't know if you're great, but I do think that you're really good. Offensively, the positive for me in this fall camp has the weapons that you have in Aaron Anderson, Caden Durham, Barrion Brown, Chris Hilton, Tradez Green, Bauer Sharp, Harlem Berry, Caleb Jackson. Guys, I think it's really good. Nick Anderson, for that matter. I think it's really good. Xavion Thomas. I think that is a winning unit. A very much winning unit. I think that they have made some ridiculous plays when they do. I think they've been explosive. I think that they have vertically pushed the ball downfield in a very effective rate in moments and times. They have not been consistent in it, but they've done some really good things. I do think if 13 gets enough time, that he can make a lot of really good plays. But the biggest positive for me coming out offensively is I think Garrett has done some really special things. I think he's made some very special throws. I think that he has shown maturity. I think that we've seen him push up in the pocket when last year I think he was a little timid to push the pocket and vertically climb in the pocket. We've seen him, hey man, nothing's there and I got a hole in front of me, I'm taking off. We've seen him do that. Guys, in 40 years of being out there, as much as I've been out there, those are things that, quite honestly, I have not seen from Garrett Nussmeier. We didn't see it in the season a lot. We did hardly at all. We didn't see it in fall camps. He always would move left, move right. He didn't want to get up in that interior and run. He didn't want to push that pocket and take a hit and make a really good throw. He didn't want to. He's done it a lot this camp when he's needed to. He's been under a lot of pressure and made a lot of really good decisions. He hasn't turned the ball over a lot. And I think the biggest concern for me, for him coming into the season, was just simple decision-making and turning the ball over, which I think that all really just revolves around decision-making. I don't think anything is athletic. Like, I don't think that there's anything physically that he lacks in. Like, I still think Garrett can run it a little bit and run it. Everything has been in between the headset, in between the helmet. Make the better decisions. And guys, quite honestly, he's done it. I think he gives you the ultimate fighting chance. And if that's the level of maturity, if that's the level of experience, and he's going to do the things and make the plays, winning plays that you need, guys, you're in a dogfight. Because with 13 right now, based off of the decisions I've seen him make over the last month, I think if he continues to make those smart and right decisions, you're deadly. You're deadly. Can he consistently make those right decisions will be the ultimate question for me. I've seen you do it for a month. You give me hope that you can go in there into Clemson and do it again, and do it again, and do it again, and do it again. He's got to have time. He can't do this shit by himself. So, I've seen your quarterback progress. I've seen your quarterback take a step. There was a lot made on this show in particular about, hey, man, he's got to take a step. He cannot turn the ball over the way that he did. For me, you can agree or disagree. I don't think that the pressure is an excuse that he faced a season ago when you have that many turnovers. Because, guys, you gave up. You were second in the SEC and sacks allowed. You didn't give up many. He was under pressure, but, guys, a lot of quarterbacks are under pressure. This is the fucking SEC. Like, you're going to be under pressure. So wake up, Peter Pan. Like, wake up. Not everything's going to be clean. And I think in some of those decisions that we saw a year ago, it's a non-negotiable. They got to get cleaned up. Offseason, cleaned. Call him a Mr. Clean with hair because he cleaned it up. It gives me a lot of number one, joy for him, that if he can translate that on Saturdays, good. Way to go work your ass off, kid. Good. Secondly, it just shows the overall maturity level and the meaning for him. Saw it cleaned up. Let's go take it to Clemson. Defensively, as I mentioned earlier, I think all fall camp has been dominated by them. It's been dominated because of your front seven. It's been dominated because of your front seven. There have been plays in the secondary that you've gotten hit on. And the good thing is that you're hitting them from an offensive standpoint. But this front seven has done an exceptional job against ourselves. Exceptional. I am a little bit gun shy to say that I think that it's massively improved. I do think it's clearly improved. Clearly. I get gun shy in reference to I need to see them go out there against Clemson and prove that it's not just fall camp talk, fall camp situations. You know the plays. All these things around you are happening. I need you to go into Clemson and do it. But let me please continue the success that you've had this fall camp and give us the chance to believe. Because if the front seven that's shown up for you every single day for a month shows up in Clemson, they give you an unreal chance to win. An unreal chance. I don't think at some point every defense breaks. And I worry that offensively you could start out slow and this defense is just going to have to hold on. It's like when you drink a protein shake with too much fiber and you got to hit the first bathroom you see. Hold on. Hold on. Just hold on. God, please, Jesus, let this front seven show up like it's done in fall camp. That's all I ask, dear Lord. That's all I ask. They've dominated it. Bottom line, you've heard multiple media members talk about it. You've heard me talk about it. You've heard Ryan Leaf, of all people here, talk about it. They clipped a video of him. Hey, man, offense. That defense got physical today. Got after your ass. Uh-huh. He ain't got no dog in the fight. None. It's printed on Twitter. Go listen to it for yourself because it's said. They're better. You were horrible last year at stopping a quarterback running the football. Guys, a big reason, not the reason, a big reason that you have lost 7 games in the SEC under Brian Kelly is simple. Your secondary's been bad, yes, but in all 7 of those SEC losses that you have over the last 3 years, they have one thing in common. You gave up too many rushing yards to a quarterback, running back, etc. You just weren't physical enough. I've seen Bernard Gooden do some really wild things. I've seen Don McKinley be very good as an anchor in the interior. I've seen the edge unit be very physical and play downhill and really get after people. Guys, if you do not stop the run defensively, and in those 7 losses, you average giving up 250 yards on the ground, you are going nowhere fast. You're going to get blown out in a couple games if you keep giving up that many rush yards. You're going to get blown out. I don't think that's happening. One of these quarterbacks might get a long run off of you. I don't know if they can consistently do what we saw them do a year ago. I think you're much better at safety. And even if you want to talk about front 7, when those guys walk down in the box, whatever. AJ Halsey is going to be a big part of stopping this run game too. They've just looked good, which translates me to my next point, safety. You've upgraded there. I have high hopes for AJ Halsey. I think he's done very great in the month that we've been able to see him. He's been very good in run support. I do worry about the secondary, the safeties coverages. I'm always worrisome about when you have a guy that loves to come up and stop the run, that from a coverage standpoint, maybe you're not the best. Let's see what's going to happen there. And by God, you're going to get tested week 1. We're going to find out. But I do think you've been better there, and that's all I can ask for. I don't think we know who your other boundary corner besides Mansour Delane is. I've seen them run out 5 different dudes. Literally. I don't know what they do with DJ Pickett week 1. I have no clue. I'm sure he's going to play in some regard. He has not been able to beat out the rotation right now of Ashton Stamps and or PJ Wooden. Hadn't happened yet. It will. It will, because athletically, I think he's there. But I don't think he's done anything right now that would give him that nod. I would be shocked if he started based off of and only of the reps we've seen him take. Very shocked. Very shocked. Doesn't mean he won't. Doesn't mean he won't, because Corey can say this guy's just more talented than everybody, and we got to throw him out there. It's good to have depth, though. PJ, Ashton get beat. I think they're going to give DJ a chance. I really feel he'll play. I don't know if he'll start. Which leads me to Mansour Delane, man. I think he's been really good against some talented receivers. We'll see with him. We'll see. We need him big time in week 1. So defensively, I have a lot of hope. Offensively, I do have some worries. I do have some worries defensively, as we just went through. I think in wrapping this all up in a bow, I would say this, and to get to my prediction, I think overall as a team, Brian Kelly has said something that's been very interesting. He said that he thinks that this is the most talented team that he's had while at LSU, which has given a lot of fans a lot of hope. I don't know if it's the most talented. I don't know how we quantify 4 first-round picks on your offense in 2023 because you had 4 of them. 2 of them went in the top 5. Guys, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. The last time LSU had 2 picks go in the top 5 was Jamar Chase when he went, and Joe Burrow when he went, and Jaden Daniels and Will Campbell. Understand what we're saying here. I don't know if you're more talented. You sure as hell do have a better roster. I think it all translates over to defense. I don't know if you're more talented. Because, guys, you play against Jaden Daniels tomorrow, it's Jaden Daniels, right? Like, I mean, what are we talking about? I mean, the dude led his team to an NFC championship game as a rookie with a team that has no business being there. I do think you're a better overall team and roster. You are much more athletic than you were a season ago, especially defensively. That gives me a lot of excitement. I'm excited for this team. I'm excited for this defense. I am very worried about this run game. If you're asking me in reference to the entire season, what do I think? What do I believe? What's going to happen? I think 3 options are on the table from what I think that I've seen. I think your outright floor, meaning Garrett stays healthy, like your outright floor, like the worst that could happen is you relate to what happened a season ago. I don't think you're anything worse than 8-4. And I got to be real with you. Outside of some crazy shit happening and the wheels falling off in some situations, I just don't think that that's going to happen. I really don't. I kind of put it in the back of my mind and say, yeah, whatever. Like it would really have to take a turn. I look at you right now as a team. When I look at this team after all fall camp is done, what I've seen, the strengths, things that I hope that is a strength that's really shown in fall camp and during the spring that's been a strength based off of everything we've seen along this offense, this receiver core, Garrett Nussmeier's maturity. I'm going to need to see you against Clemson, Bama, Florida, Oklahoma, and quite honestly, Texas A&M for whatever it's worth. Shit, David Pollack, who I disagree with on this, came on this show and said he had A&M as a playoff team. I do not agree with him. Can you stop the run? Can you run the football? The 2 most basic things. I do feel like right now, I could see you going 9-3. You're going to have to do something next week that shows that you are on a different trajectory. I don't know if this team will be able to figure it out in time to get over that 9-3 hump. The problem that I'm struggling with and saying, yeah, man, you could go 9-3 here. The problem that I have in this is simple. I don't think that you have the talent of a 9-3 team. I think that you have a talent of a team that probably should make the playoff. That's what I think. For whatever it's worth, When we did this a year ago, I was hovering around, man, I think that you're going to go 9-3, but I really feel a lot like 8-4. Right now, I feel like, hey, man, maybe you don't fix some things. Maybe this offensive line can't get the run game going, and you go into a situation where, look, man, you just can't run the football against some really good defensive lines, and Garrett's under pressure, and you go 9-3. But I just don't see your talent level there. I think you have the talent level of a team that can be 10-2 going into the playoff. I think that if you win week 1 versus Clemson, you're not gonna lose 3 games down that stretch. You're not gonna do it because momentum's gonna catch up with you, and you're gonna have the confidence to go there. I am very worried about if you can't find a way to get pressure off of Garrett, then I don't know if you're good enough to do what you did a season ago and just throw the football for 500 attempts in a season and expect that to lead you to a playoff. I don't know if defensively I have a lot of worries. I think that you worry because you have so many guys from the portal, so many new faces. Gabe Rutherford, Don McKinley, can those sophomores take off? There are so many questions. And in those questions, I'm like, but man, you're bigger, you're stronger, and you're faster than a team that you had defensively a season ago. And I don't think that you can hold on if you cannot run the football. I don't think you'll hold on. This season, a lot of it revolves around this offensive line. You went out and got some portal pieces, and they need a hit. Guys, I will say this until I'm blue in the face. I'll say it until I'm blue in the face because it's just quite honestly the truth. You have not been physical enough up front. You haven't been. Defensively, I feel like that you've answered some of those questions. But if you keep running with the same physicality out there offensively, then, man, you better hope 13 saves you in a lot of situations. You have the talent level of a team that's 10-2. I think if you do get into a situation where you lose a couple of games early, shit could get bad and you go 8-4. I am really hovering around the 10-2 marker based off of talent. I am. I think if Garrett shows the maturity level, he can get you there. You better win week 1 to do it. You better win week 1. Going to Oklahoma is not fun. Going to Bama is not fun. You're going to be here in this chat justifying a lot of things. And I get why you're going to justify a lot of things. Gosh, it's good morning, everybody. It's the morning. I'm going to have to sit there at 10-2, 9-3. I don't think you're not bad enough. You're good enough to be there. Can you get over that hump? You have the talent level to be there. You do. You do. And the thing that I think about is you're not facing off against USC in the opener. You're facing off against Clemson. A lot of people think that they're national championship quality. If that's the case, guys, you're in a dogfight, man. You're in a dogfight. A lot of fan of the program comes next Saturday. So we'll see. All right. Eight and 4, does Brian Kelly get fired? Says Bro 337. No. I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. It could. Rob says Matt Flynn feels defense rules, offense helps. maybe when they played, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, offense don't help in today's league. Because look at the offense that won last year. Their quarterback went 14 of 15 in the first half of a national title game. They had Jeremiah Smith. No, having elite talent helps. Having the Remington Award winner at center helps. Having 2 draftable running backs that are really good helps. Having 3 guys that will be drafted in the NFL at receiver definitely help. Having the best receiver in the game definitely helps. Bullshit. I don't think you have a defense like Michigan or Georgia. I don't. Those teams were extremely dominant defensively. In that world, maybe. In former LSU seasons, maybe. But I don't know if you're there. I mean, you don't have the depth in interior defensive tackle that Michigan had or Georgia had. I mean, we saw 2020 Alabama. We saw 2019 LSU. I mean, you got to be competent offensively. But those teams in Michigan and Georgia could run the football. They dominated you physically. I don't know if you're going to dominate teams physically, offensively. I really don't. Again, we could, listen, a week, actually not a week from today, 6 days from now, we're going to be in a situation where we can come in here and be like, man, that defense got run all over. They knew that the offense's plays, and they gave us all false hope. But they dominated the camp. So whether they do it on the field or not, it's not up to me. It's not up to me. This shit could take a complete 180. Complete 180. I don't think it will, though. I don't think it will. So we'll see. Brandon says on YouTube, if Sloan doesn't stick with the running game early against Clemson, BK will probably be ready to take over play calling duties again. Maybe. Win Clemson game, I think we win 10. I agree with that. But listen, like you have the talent level. I believe you really actually, no, I don't believe. Guys, it is of my opinion, and I think that this is pretty much a fact. You have we've seen teams going into the fourth fall camp here. We've seen some elite shit because we've seen a Heisman Trophy winner literally 2 years ago. We've seen some really great shit, really great players. And what I'm telling you is, overall, you do have the talent that you should be a playoff team. Really. Overall, from a defensive perspective, like all of it. But man, I like, if I knew that you weren't going to be 108th in rushing, like if you were in mid-50s, I'm like, you're 10-2. Maybe you beat Bama, but you lose to Clemson. I don't know. Maybe you lose to Clemson and Alabama and beat everybody else. So we'll see. There's a reason their win total over-under on FanDuel is 8.5. I would hit the over on FanDuel. All right. Been in here for 2 hours. It's midnight. We'll see y'all technically tomorrow on Monday. Y'all have a good night, man. Peace.